if you're using a Sony camera or a Lumix camera, and you're recording in 422 10-bit, so you're getting the chroma subsampling, the highest quality, and you're using 10-bit, then you're gonna go to edit and it's going slow. That's because all the Nvidia GPUs except the current 50 series GPUs do not decode that with the GPU. So that means you're using your CPU to decode those videos, and they're probably 4K or larger, and that is why your computer is clunking. So you're now probably wondering, well, how am I gonna fix that? What am I supposed to do? Well, the easiest thing you could do is you can make proxies. There's different types of proxies, like H.264, H.265, ProRes, or DNX. These are all gonna be beneficial. Now you're gonna figure out, well, how am I gonna decide which proxy am I going to use? If you're using DaVinci Resolve, is gonna be the easiest way to do that. The fastest proxies that you can make are gonna be ProRes and DNX proxies. Those are intermediary codecs or mezzanine codecs. I'll put an AI prompt down in the description below that'll give you full explanation of what these codecs are and the differences. But the basic rundown is intermediate codecs, each frame, so you're recording 30 FPS, 60 FPS, each frame is an individual photo, individual picture. You can load it as an individual picture. So your CPU is actually going to decode those, but it's able to load them extremely quickly. So you're able to scrub back and forth through your timeline extremely fast because there is no compression. It's just load up the photo, load up the photo, load up the photo. Very, very easy. Compared to compressed codecs such as H.264, H.265, and AV1 codec, right? Most likely your camera is recording in those codecs, but there's also options to record intra-frame. Intra-frame is the same as like DNX HR or ProRes, intermediate. Each, and that's why the bitrate on those is very high. Like it takes up a lot of space because each individual frame is a photo. Now, if you're using the H.264, H.265, those are compressed. Meaning, if we have, you see me right here. We'll say this is the base frame. All the frames you're seeing after are the change in pixels. So let's say the next 10 frames are the change in pixels from here to here. So it's not recording because a lot of this frame here, you see the tree, the sky, the grass behind me, it stays the same. So it doesn't need to re-encode that. What it's doing is re-encoding, it's encoding the change in pixels. So this, you know what? I'll put a link down below that explains compression very well. But that's the basic rundown. So that means if I want to load a certain frame on the timeline, it actually has to go back 6 or 7 or 8 frames and decode those first before it can even show you the current frame. And that's why your timeline is going clunky. It's going slow, right? So we're gonna fix that. Now, let's say you have a big project and you're about to bring in all your media into your computer, right? And it's 422 10-bit, and you don't have a 50 series GPU. Now you're gonna decide, am I gonna use DNX HR or like a DNX ProRes, or am I gonna use a Blackmagic proxy generator and use H.264, H.265? Now you're like, oh well, those are compressed. That can't be that much faster. Well, they're compressed, yes, but your GPU most likely it's not most likely. It will have a hardware decoder for H.264 and H.265 video, so it will be fast, especially if you lower the resolution down to like 1080p. Then it's even faster. Those are gonna be good options for you. Now you have to think, okay, well, I have to make all of these proxies. So how long will it take to encode all of these proxies at 1080p? So it's gonna look at my high 4K resolution, 6K, whatever resolution footage, 422. It's going to decode that, right? It's gonna decode that and re-encode it as a proxy at 1080p. DNX and ProRes on Windows computers are encoded. So what are we making the proxies? How are we making the proxies? With the CPU. Meanwhile, if you use the Blackmagic proxy generator or in the DaVinci Resolve timeline, if you use H.264, H.265, we're gonna read our 6K, our big files, and we're going to encode it with the GPU, which is gonna be a lot faster. So there's a couple ways we're gonna be saving time here. You're gonna load up all your videos. If you have anything except the 50 series, so 40, 30, 20, 10 series GPUs, you're most likely gonna want to encode those proxies with the Blackmagic proxy generator, H.264, 1080p or 1080p half res, which will reduce 1080p down, also half resolution. and that's going to be encoded with the GPU, and it's not going to take as long. And what you could do is just do a quick comparison, hit, add the folder to the Blackmagic, the proxy generator, choose the let's say the ProRes option, and hit start and see how long the approximated time is, cancel it, and then see how long the approximated time will be with the H.264, H.265. And you'll see it's much shorter because you're making those proxies, encoding it with your GPU and not your CPU. Unless you have a crazy CPU, then you might as well make those other ones. Or if you have a lot of time, yeah, you might as well make the ProRes or the DNX HR. Yeah, that's my take for today. It's very important that we know this, because sometimes you're like, oh man, what's going on? My CPU is going slow, my computer's going slow, and I have a great computer. I have a lot of RAM, I have a great computer, I have a cooling, whatever, all this stuff, and yet my timeline is still going slow. Maybe it's the software, maybe it's the drivers. You don't know what the issue is. The issue is we don't understand that the decoding of those 422 videos is not happening on all of our other GPUs, which is why we make proxies. But if you have a 50 series GPU and you're trying to upgrade to a 50 series GPU, you're trying to figure out which one should I get. I have a chart here that I'm going to pull up, and I'll also leave you a link in the description below. So we have different 50 series GPUs, 90, 80, 5070 Ti, 5070, 60 Ti, 50, 60, and 5050. Each one of these has a specific amount of encoders and decoders. The 5090 has 3 encoders, so you're gonna render videos quicker, and you're gonna have 2 decoders. The 5080 has 2 encoders and 2 decoders, and it starts going down from there. So 5070 has 2 encoders and 1 decoder. So if you wanna decode your 422 10-bit videos at the fastest possible, you wanna be able to just not even make proxies and just play back easily on the timeline, for the lowest price, that would be the 5080, because you still have 2 decoders, and the 5090 still has 2 decoders. The 5090 has 1 additional encoder, so you're gonna render faster. But you know what? Most of the time, you're just gonna let your render render while you're doing something else, like eating or render overnight or whatever. So that might not be too important to you. But hopefully this information has helped you, and hopefully this information is going to help you decide on what GPU am I going to get next, or what is wrong with my system, or what kind of proxies should I make, or how can I speed up my workflow faster. How can I make my workflow faster? This is all related subjects. So go ahead and hit that like if you found any information here valuable. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you want to help out the channel, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. And leave a comment. I want to know your opinions. I want to know what kind of struggles are you having with. You probably don't even know what kind of struggles you have. And you know what? Because we just learned something new today together. Whatever struggles I'm having, I'm gonna be posting them and with the solutions. Hey, thank you for watching. See you again on Alpha Bravo Media.